In this video, I'll be demonstrating the effects of using a double tagging VLAN hopping attack to send an ICMP packet from a virtual machine located in one hypervisor environment to another virtual machine located in a separate hypervisor environment. Both hypervisor environments are connected to the same physical switch. In this scenario, the attacker is using a virtual Kali system located within the Citrix XenServer hypervisor environment, which is connected to port 31 on the Cisco 2950 switch. The target virtual machine is located within the ProxMox hypervisor environment, and that is connected to port 29 on the Cisco 2950 switch. Both of the virtual networks are connected to the physical switch via a trunk port as per best practices, with the target virtual machine being located on VLAN 20 and the attacking virtual machine remaining untagged. Let's take a look at the configuration on the Cisco 2950 switch. Here we can see the Citrix XenServer system is connected as a trunk port, as well as the ProxMox server is also connected to a trunk port. The Citrix server is on port 31, and the ProxMox server is on port 29. We can take a further look at the trunking status for those two ports by using show int fa 0-31 trunk, and we can see that it is using trunking and using 802.1 Q encapsulation. We can use the same command on port 29. See, it's also set up for trunking and 802.1 encapsulation. On the Cisco 2950 switch, 802.1 Q encapsulation is the default standard, and that's the only encapsulation method that's supported. Okay, if we take a look at the networking on the Citrix XenServer, we can see that the virtual machine is set up for network 2, and that network is untagged. There's no VLANing set up there. Over on the attacker system, we pull over the configuration here for the ProxMox window, we can see that the network interface for that system is tagged for VLAN 20. Okay, now let's run this attack. So this is our Citrix XenServer system. We're going to make this a little bit bigger here. Over here is our ProxMox system, which is the target. So on the target, we're just going to run TCP dump -vv pipe grep ICMP to just watch for the ICMP traffic to see if we can actually see that response coming in from the ping probe from the other virtual environment. Over on the attacking system, we're going to run the Yersinia application with the -I flag for interactive mode. Here we're just going to choose the default interface. And then we're going to change over to 802.1 Q mode using the G key. Here we're going to edit the information down on the bottom by pressing the E key. And we're going to leave the VLAN, the first VLAN set to 1, and the second VLAN we're going to change over to 20. That's going to create our double tags. Here we're going to spoof a source IP address of 192.168.0.5005, and the target is 192.168.0.0.1.0.11. Hit enter for those changes to take place. Okay, now we're going to run the attack by pressing the X key, and then 1 for sending the double encapsulation packet. We're going to run this a few times. We can actually see up here that the spoofed IP address, and it was sent out the ICMP packet to the destination of 192.168.1.11. This could take some time for it to actually show up in the TCP dump window on the target side. So if you're trying this at home, make sure you give this enough time to actually run and for the packets to cross the network over into the target system. So we're just going to send a few packets here. There we go. Here we can see the packet from 192.168.5.5 heading to Kali 1, which this host is 192.168.1.11, and it's just resolving it to Kali 1 here in TCP dump for us. But we can see that the ICMP echo request actually made it over to this target system. So we effectively hopped from a native VLAN on the Citrix environment through the hypervisor's virtual switch, connected to the trunk port on the physical Cisco 2950, which also went out a trunk port to the ProxMox virtual switch, or virtual bridge in this case, to the virtual machine on VLAN 20. So this effectively works and shows that we can actually do a double tagging VLAN hopping attack between virtualized environments.